Washington is a state many go to visit for their must-see attractions and beautiful scenery, but once you arrive, many people realize that the state has a lot more scary and haunted stories than they actually thought. So I did some digging myself and found the top 10 Washington scary urban legends. I'm your host Andrew, and let's get right into this. At the number 10 spot, we have the Mount Baker Theater. Opening up in 1927, the Mount Baker Theater in Bellingham was haunted from day one. Unidentified sounds, chilly spots, strange disembodied voices, balls of light, and even the odd apparition are just a few of the stories that have been noted here. As well, many guests have reported the ghost of a young woman named Judy here, and it's said that she has constant crushes on male visitors and will choose to usher them into their seats if she does have a crush on them. People know it's Judy when they begin to hear their names across the floor and feel as if someone is touching them on their back or shoulders. Another spirit trapped in this hotel is a cat that is found in the basement of the theater. Many claim that whenever they go to the basement and catch a glimpse of this cat, something is bound to happen, as with any black cat theory. Oddly enough, Mount Baker Theater keeps a ghost light on stage during the off hours, claiming that they ward off the evil ones from the theater, but who really knows if this works like they say they do?
But what haunts the theater is as varied as the witnesses who felt it. Maureen believes it could be the spirit of her son Michael, a theater employee in love with the building.
After he died, I was in here at a performance one night, and I felt a little tugging right up here in my hair. And I thought, oh, it's Michael.
Margaret believes it's an impish woman named Judy, who may have lived on the site long before the theater was even built. This may be a ghostly picture of her.
I think she's nice. I don't think she's malicious, but I think she does like to tease, especially the men that are here alone.
At a number 9 spot, we have the Maury Island incident. Weeks before the infamous Roswell accident, Red Krisman and Harold Dahl had their own encounter that shocked many people at the time. It all started on June 24, 1947, when pilot Kenneth Arnold claimed to see a string of 9 shiny unidentified flying objects traveling around 1,200 miles per hour past Mount Rainier. After it got nationwide attention, many people came to say that they too have seen the UFOs flying. Eventually, the story would be relayed to Red Krisman and Harold Dahl, who both claimed to have fragments from the supposed UFO they saw. When they interviewed Harold, he would go on to say, quote, "On June 21st, 1947, in the afternoon about 2 o'clock, I as captain was steering my patrol boat close to the shore of a bay on Maury Island. On board were 2 crewmen, my 15-year-old son and his dog. As I looked from the wheel on my boat, I noticed 6 very large donut-shaped aircraft. They also made a claim that they were approached by a man in black later on who told them to never speak of the incident again. Eventually, the FBI started to investigate this case and stated that this incident was a hoax, but who knows? This really wouldn't be the first time the US government was hiding UFOs, right? Number 8, the Black Cat at Stevens Hall. Built in 1895 in Pullman, Washington, the Stevens Hall was once praised as the, quote, most beautiful building on the campus. But once people started stepping foot inside, they took back these claims. Kind of like when you meet someone that is physically attractive, but just has a terrible personality. This is that place. It all started as a hangout spot for students at Washington State University. Here they would dance, drink, and tell stories to one another. One story told at the hall was Edgar Allan's Poe's The Black Cat. It was read on Halloween every single year until one year the students believed the story had come to life. Eventually, many people would see sightings of this black cat in Stevens Hall. Then on one Halloween, a black cat stood in front of the house's mother's door, which is basically the person who runs the house, and when the students opened the door to see what the black cat was hiding, they found that the girl behind the door had passed away, and many people believed it was caused by this black cat. Number 7, the Iron Goat Trail. In 1893, a railroad was constructed across the Cascades of Washington. This would be great news because it would finally mean that Seattle would be connected with the Midwest and many other states. Except once trains started to use this railroad, they ran into many problems. To begin with, trains with engines on each end had to struggle up switchbacks to reach the summit. And the worst part was, since it was in the mountains, snow could reach up to 25 feet high in some places, which would just have hundreds of people digging out in the snow in order for the train to go through. Then in February 1920, the deadliest avalanche in American history hit the railroad, derailing carts and killing a total of 96 people. And at a time, the rescue mission was nearly impossible due to the extreme weather conditions present on the mountain. Now many hikers come across the area where the accident occurred, and many find themselves leaving immediately the moment they got there. This is because some hikers have reported hearing noticeable noises, screams coming from the tunnels, while others have spotted apparitions of men looking zombie-like walking towards them. All these components make this place one of Washington State's most haunted places. Number 6, Port Townsend, Washington. Considered to be one of America's most haunted cities, Port Townsend definitely has a dark history to back up that claim. The thing about this place is that paranormal activity isn't in a single building or two, but they say that spirits roam freely around the town and there's not a place in town where you don't have the chance to see a ghost. For example, the Manresa Castle located in the city was once visited by ghost adventures and they supposedly captured children's laughter on film, as well as feeling as though someone or something was pressing against them the whole time. Then we have the Palace Hotel, which used to be known as the Palace of Suites due to the women who used to live there, but many visitors claim these women never left. Well, that is their spirit, of course. They say a woman in blue exposes herself to guests and staff members while the other spirits try to play pranks on other people. And last, we have the Rothschild House, which is Washington's most haunted museum, where the former family members of the home seem to not like having strangers inside of their place. Guests have reported things ranging from slamming doors to seeing some of their former family members in their rooms. Regardless, this town is extremely beautiful, but if you decide to visit, try to avoid some of the ghosts I just mentioned. But it looks like you really can't, because they're everywhere. In the hump of our list, we have the Caddy of Cadboro Bay. Wait, did you think we can escape the Loch Ness Monster? Because we just can't. There's one in every single state. And for Washington, they have the Cadborosaurus, nicknamed the Caddy. It is said to be a 20-foot serpentine beast that inhabits the northern part of the west coast. It's described as having the head of a horse and the body of a very large eel. Eyewitness reports have been coming in for the past 200 years with 300 different sightings. Even the Inuit people drew this creature on their canoes in hopes they could ward it off once they entered in the water. As with all these Loch Ness Monster hypes, people claim to have found and captured ones, but eventually it gets to a point when you can't even tell what's real and what's fake. So at the end of the day, you guys have to be the judge of that.
There's a whole family of these darn things.
Last year, he shot this video of what looks like a sea monster.
Okay, just keep watching. Now watch. Its head's gonna come out. Its head's gonna pop out. Check this out.
It's blue. So those aren't sea lions. You've seen sea lions. Held up. It's got humps that are.
They're 20 to 30 feet long. They're long, skinny things.
Oh, that is no. What the heck is that?
Number 4, Bigfoot. Yes, the hairy creature has made its way back onto this list simply because this is the state where it was first documented and popularized. To this day, this is the state where the most sightings are recorded, so it's either everyone is just lying in Washington or there may actually be a Bigfoot in their woods. Bigfoot has gained worldwide attention, but for those who don't know, they're basically 7 to 8 feet tall hairy humanoids with extreme strength. To this day, the search for Bigfoot is still a mystery and there has never been solid evidence to prove the general public that such a beast could exist, other than these footprints, but I don't even know if they're real. You could just draw it out with your hand. But hey, if you live in Washington, you have the best chance of actually discovering one, but that outcome would probably not be good for you because they're not that much a friendly creature. Number 3, Tacoma Old City Hall. Serving as City Hall in the early 20th century, this 10-story clock tower is haunted by a single prankster ghost named Gus. Many don't know the origins of this ghost, but it is said that he may have been a former criminal that was held in the building's old city jail and passed away there. So as I mentioned, this building served as City Hall until 1957. This was a time when the City Hall was being neglected, no maintenance, no payments, so eventually the building was too unsafe to work in. Nowadays, visitors of the old City Hall claim that prankster ghosts have taken over the building. For example, Gus is known to toss objects in the air at random, turn on lights on and off, and sometimes he would just completely shatter light bulbs. At one point, the sightings were so frequent, the police believed it was a real person trespassing the property, but upon further investigation, it was discovered that no one was even there. Some even say that Gus haunts the clock tower and they are known to randomly ring the bell every so often, but it's usually at night when the building is completely empty. Number 2, Kells Irish Pub. Considered to be a family-friendly bar/restaurant, the Kells Irish Restaurant and Pub is said to be one of the most haunted eateries in the entire nation. To start, the pub is located in the Butterworth building, which is a former mortuary, so you kinda know where this story is going. This would basically mean that the entire building was used to store deceased bodies. Throughout the years, many spiritualists have been brought to the Butterworth building in an attempt to initiate meaningful conversation with alleged spirits who remain there. Nowadays, visitors report sightings of a ghost of a young girl dressed in a scarlet velvet dress there. Others have spotted the ghost of an older gentleman as well, named Charlie, who would just appear at random throughout the entire building. Basically, this means that if you decide to visit this place and eat here, chances are you're probably going to encounter something supernatural, but don't worry, because they say that the spirits here are mainly positive, so not much to worry about, right? Number 1, the 13 Steps to Hell. Built in 1901, the Maltby Cemetery in Woodingville, Washington is said to be one of the go-to cemeteries if you want to experience some sort of paranormal activity. The most famous legend about the cemetery is the story of the 13 Steps to Hell. The stairs appear to lead to nowhere and descended into a ground as they are located in the center of the cemetery. They allegedly led to an underground family tomb. Even though you were only a few feet away, it was said that when you went down the stairs, you abruptly lost the ability to hear anything above you or around you. It is said that if you turn around and face the bottom of the stairs, you could catch a glimpse of hell yourself. Local lore claims that occasionally people would descend down the stairs and just never come back up. Even though the steps were removed many years ago, there are still stories concerning them, and many people don't even know the real mystery behind these steps in the first place. Well, these are the top 10 Washington scary urban legends. What did you guys think about this list? Leave a comment down below with your thoughts and leave some suggestions for some future videos. I'm your host Andrew, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this video for some more content, and I hope you guys have a scary day.